And oh,
I'll introduce you.
alright.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the RSL livestream hosted right here on Dapple Productions from Game Arena Alpha. We are here with the semi-finals. It's about to go down with the last couple teams, starting off with Some Deaths against MatthewFoxEmoji in a nice little venue. Everyone in the venue, give us a big cheer.
Both teams have some very notable players, some very high-level, top-level European players that outside of this LAN event have proven their might in online tournaments. So it is really going to be very exciting to see how they hold up here, one against the other. Some Deaths, of course, is a subsection of Zero Deaths, having Storm and Toyobin, a backline and a support player, with MatthewFoxEmoji having most notably Spore, a UK brush player?
Yeah,
yes,
UK, yeah.
A UK brush player. And, well, these two teams, like I said, they have some very, very recognizable players, so it's going to be very exciting to see how they face up against each other.
Exactly, and we saw the first piece from Some Deaths, the first piece of Some Deaths just command, but it didn't really do anything. But now MatthewFoxEmoji instantly goes with a counter, lost a couple players. We see the machine coming in, doing some strong work. They're getting some turf on the ground. Some Deaths trying to get rid of the power clam as they do. No, sorry, yeah, no, Some Deaths now getting the turf. Inkjet from Storm right here, trying to get rid of some players. We do see the tri-track coming out, and luckily for Storm, he avoided it. Now on the spinner, does get cammed, and unfortunately for MatthewFoxEmoji to survive, but there's another power clam on the way towards that basket. Can they get it in? Spore is gonna make some room. They're going up high, the crab tech is at the counter, it gets the power clam out of there. Toyo with a very strong crab there, preventing that base and preventing the push from MatthewFoxEmoji.
Oh yeah, we saw Some Deaths do a great defense there, playing around that crab tank that can just absolutely stop MatthewFoxEmoji in their tracks as they try to play on the top of that spinner and get some points on the board. And we're seeing them quickly retaliate, but one of the splashes goes down. They were picked by a flank on the left side, and we're seeing Some Deaths try to defend here. Whale coming out, they're getting pincered from all angles. Okami trying to salvage, getting two. Great play. Some Deaths push may still be alive. They have a power clamp. They have two specials. If they can score this and get some specials on the board right now, and they do. Inkjet from Storm looking to find some kills. Spore managing to live, and Toyobin goes on the top right but gets picked by Ninja. It is a trade, but there will not be any more points scored by Some Deaths. This will be the end of their push, and we see MatthewFoxEmoji start moving into mid again, try to punish some jumps like Spore did there, and get some map control under their belt.
Yeah, but a very strong push from Some Deaths. They're pushing it all the way to 49, even if it was the second push. But it's still a very good showing, especially as MatthewFoxEmoji is yet to score points. Tri-Strike coming out, trying to get some turf and trying to get some ground cover. Margin did get splattered though, that's unfortunate. There's two players down on both sides. Margin just respawned, Mia now down, and oh no, they swam into the bomb of Spore. Very sneaky spat bomb there, and this might be an opening for MatthewFoxEmoji. They have a power clam on the field, but it's only Spore inside of the base of Some Deaths. Toyopan with that scrap tank again, preventing a push from happening. The Carbon Rotor quickly swooping in, getting rid of the Slosher. Okami with a Verge counter, but gets Spore as well there, and that's again another push stop by Some Deaths, and MatthewFoxEmoji are really trying to get some ground here. Toyoban now holding on to the power clamp. They are waiting to get it done. They're charging the crab tank to use it for the push. Inksuka also coming out. Carbon Rotor now in front. Okami grabs the power clamp onto the basket. They shoot, they score. Toyoban has some clamps at the ready. Uses the crab tank to get rid of Majin. Gets rid of Spore. Looking at the Slosher as well. Can they hold him back? But they need to get more clamps, and they're only sort of couple in 31. Couple players down on both sides. Storm still alive. They have No clams, unfortunately. They're all in the hands of the machine. They throw them in. A very sneaky one to keep the basket open. Can they do it again? Unfortunately not. But a very, very good push for Some Deaths. And MatthewFoxEmoji in a lot of trouble here.
No, for sure. MatthewFoxEmoji almost basically got a delayed wipe. They're going to have very little specials. They're going to need to focus on getting them online if they want to have a chance to defend against Some Deaths, because even though their push is over, they are not letting up the pressure. We see them popping specials. Sure, Storm did go down, but they'll only had to back up to the middle of the map where they still have a lot of map control and keep MatthewFoxEmoji from pushing. That's what we're seeing. 2 down, Spore and the Tri-Slosher going down on the side of MatthewFoxEmoji. Some Deaths not wasting any time, pushing forward very aggressively. 21 clams on the board right now. Some Deaths looking to break the counter. Yes, they do. 28. This is a knockout position. If they can finally secure the kill on Spore, which they do, Toyobin has enough clams to keep it open for a little bit longer. Storm trying to back off, just stay alive. They don't need to push here. The score disparity is extreme, 19 to 100. All that Some Deaths need to do here is stay alive and keep MatthewFoxEmoji from getting enough clams and getting an opening to start pushing in here.
Yeah, they're looking like they're doing it. They got 2 players down. On the side of MatthewFoxEmoji, Some Deaths is throwing everything in their power to stop that push. Overtime almost ended. Can they get the power clam picked up in time to get it a little bit longer? Unfortunately not, as Some Deaths is the team to take the first game. But it does mean that MatthewFoxEmoji is the team to get their first counter pick in, because we are now in counter picks. It's not set map mode anymore. This is the only opener. After this, it's up to MatthewFoxEmoji what mode and map we are going to play.
Well, honestly, in my opinion, I think one of the biggest threats to MatthewFoxEmoji in this game was Okami. They did not have an answer to their Carbon Roller deco. It was just consistently sneaking not only behind them, but also on their on some very narrow flanks that consistently got some picks on key players like Spore, on their Splash player, on their Tri-Slosher, and that just kept single-handedly shutting down their pushes before they even began. Because if you can't, that's the beauty of Carbon, right? If you can't figure out where they're coming from, they have the advantage in a close-range fight, and a lot of the weapons on the side of MatthewFoxEmoji are very close-range oriented, or struggle if you manage to close the distance, and that's what Carbon Roller excels at. So MatthewFoxEmoji is going to need to find an answer to this Carbon Roller coming out from Okami. Whether it be by a composition change, a good map counter pick, but they're going to need something.
Yeah, but I also want to mention Toyobin with some crazy defensive and offensive crab tanks, just securing every single spot that they needed to do, or did enough damage for Okami to just throw a burst bomb and finish it off, right? Roller inconsistency, what is that in this game? If you have a crab tank at the back, always at the ready, Storm as well, surviving way more stuff than they were allowed to survive. Spore, I would say, also did a crazy good job with that brush, even if they didn't really get a lot of splats or a lot of pushes. Spore got some sneaky bombs and a lot of sneaky kills. It looks like the next map mode will be Rainmaker on Sturgeon Shipyard. Always a fan favorite in my opinion. If you ask me, I think it's a very, very strong counter pick. Opinions, a lot of people pick it, so it must be good. Especially with the left push or the right push. Checkpoints are also in very interesting spots there as well. I do see why, because even the flanking as a carbon is a little bit harder, because a lot of stuff we would usually climb up is uninkable, and the most flanks are usually quite obvious because they are really big, and you'll notice them quickly if you just take your eyes on the map every now and then.
No, for sure. I think this counter pick, like you said, Casper, is a pretty good counter pick, especially seeing as we have seen these teams play on this map, not only in alpha bracket but also in groups. So they are definitely quite comfortable with on Rainmaker Sturgeon, and you all saw this. You all saw this in the previous sets. These teams, these very high-level teams, they know how to make the Rainmaker do what they want, how to make it go straight to the checkpoint and straight to the pedestal. So this is definitely a very snowbally and very volatile map and mode combination. So I think if MatthewFoxEmoji feel confident that they can shut down the Carbon Roller in this less flank heavy map, I definitely see them getting some advantage over Some Deaths, especially since they have some very useful weapons that do have some advantage on more vertical and more narrow maps like this, such as the Rapid Blaster Pro Deco, which has a lot of safe poking power at a distance, plus that Killer Whale, which can open up some space on the right side.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna make it a lot difficult. But you know, Some Deaths, they've been playing so incredibly well together. Just like the entire tournament, every single set I've been watching them, it was so synchronized. Of course, it's ToyoBen and Storm, you know, being in zero deaths together, they already know how to work with each other, and you saw it often where Storm was covering for ToyoBen and just allowing ToyoBen to push in. And that's exactly what you want to see. I think the teams are about to get ready up for the next fight here. And again, this is a single elimination bracket, so MatthewFoxEmoji, they are having a little bit of pressure right now, even especially with the counter picks. It's still difficult, if it is a map mode that they particularly enjoy, it's still the pressure of single elimination. And you know, always losing the first game makes it a little difficult to really get your hang in there again. And we saw some other teams very under the pressure. For an example, Frostburn, they lost a little bit of some ground due to the pressure. They had a crazy upset, but after that, it's slowly fell apart. So hopefully it won't happen to MatthewFoxEmoji.
But yeah, we are starting to get ready here. Teams are readying up. We should be starting soon, and I am very curious to see what these two teams will be bringing out here. Well, whether we will see some composition changes, whether we will see some new strategies, and honestly, I think MatthewFoxEmoji, like I mentioned previously, need to do something. This map may just be what they need, but it's not going to do much if they don't know how to play this. They are definitely going to need to be able to play whatever composition they choose, whether the same one or a variation, to its fullest if they want to find an answer to all the weapons on Some Deaths. They're having trouble with Okami's Carbon Roller, Storm's Inkjets, ToyoBen's Crab Tanks, and honestly, MatthewFoxEmoji is really going to struggle here if they can't get their act together. But regardless, we do see some composition changes. MatthewFoxEmoji switching out the Rapid Blaster Pro for its vanilla variant, for its vanilla deco variant, and Promano switching over to the Machine.
Very interesting weapon switch, but I can definitely see why Machine here excels with all the little ridges and edges, and just the Machine being generally a little faster to splat people with. Then the Dry Slusher, someone jumping off the map. That's unfortunate what we've seen from Some Deaths, and it allows MatthewFoxEmoji to have the first push. But there we see another Slusher falling off the map, so both of the Slushers now fell off the map. That's really funny. The push only was to 85, so this map doesn't really mean anything. There we see Okami again, getting one, looking for the second, gets the second. That's rid of Majin and Ninja, some very strong players, and the Slayers for MatthewFoxEmoji. And Okami is still hungry for more. Storm picked up the Rainmaker, looking to sneak through to get the checkpoint. Inksuka to paint the checkpoint as well. Very strong team coordination here. Fernando gets splattered, but that's a very strong checkpoint for Some Deaths.
No, definitely. On this map, the checkpoint is crucial to get, especially on the right side, since that checkpoint is the only disadvantage that going the right route has. The right route is honestly more stable. It's better to push through for a more sustained push. And now that Some Deaths have taken that checkpoint, they're going to have no trouble setting up a push and moving forward. But just as I say that, MatthewFoxEmoji is so far deep in Some Deaths space. Okami trying to replicate it, but it doesn't matter. FoxEmoji have the Rainmaker right now. They're trying to run it even with two members down, but it's not quite going to succeed. Spore being the only member alive right now. Some Deaths managing to salvage the push, managing to salvage the defense, and we see them try to run it through the right side. This is what I was talking about, but MatthewFoxEmoji just barely managing to pick the Rainmaker. Storm manages to get a trade with the Slosher using the Inkjet. The Rapid Blaster on MatthewFoxEmoji, pushing up very aggressively, gets a pick on the Machine. That's a great play, but they have to stop the Rainmaker. They have to. They do, but that is going to be a strong stall from ToyoBen. It's going to keep MatthewFoxEmoji from making a good counter push very fast. So it's going to buy Some Deaths a little bit more time to get some space on the map, but that's not going to be enough with the Rapid Blaster on the side of MatthewFoxEmoji getting another pick, and that's Some Deaths is just bleeding specials, whether it be by them using them carelessly or dying without using them, and we're seeing MatthewFoxEmoji take advantage of that fact very well.
Yeah, well, you know what to say, if you're gonna die with special, when you'll pop it instead of drop it, because it may help you here. We see Fernando fighting against Ken. Ken got some, Fernando got some help from the teammate Okami to get rid of that Slusher. We see now again getting rid of Ninja as well, and this is where they're gonna start pushing because you're getting rid of a lot of people's support here down as well. That's your two short-range Slayers down and out. We see Ken drop again, and another one dropped again. Matthew with the rapid falling, and the Rainmaker's now pushed to 31, and MatthewFoxEmoji doesn't even have a chance to go in. Because Some Deaths is in their own place. They got it again, pushing it to 9 to 7. They're so close to that checkpoint. There's still 2 players alive. They can still keep this push from happening if they play it right. Just step back a little bit, get some ground, get your teammate back and go. It looks like MatthewFoxEmoji finally got a grasp on the situation. Took it back, they grabbed the Rainmaker, now it's their turn to push. But how are you gonna do that with only 2 players alive and one of which doesn't even have a weapon that can move that fast? The Brush is still alive, but the Rainmaker now in a little trouble as being flanked by ToyoBang. Gets 1, gets 2. Very good splash-o-matic gameplay here. Then out of Tri-Strike to get more ground, to get rid of more players from MatthewFoxEmoji. Not even stopping there, pushing straight in again. 2 players were just down from MatthewFox respawning. The painting and checkpoint finally go down. A very strong play from the Splash-o-matic. Score is doing everything in their power to get rid of the people that are top right, but it's not looking too hot as Storm with that Splatling can just stand up there. That ballpoint having so humongous amount of range. Get rid of Phenomenal, a very sneaky Imagine with the Inkjet also trying to get rid of Storm, but Storm is just in such a strong position. He doesn't want to leave. Why would he? He's in such a good position there. Inkjet coming, or sorry, Suka coming out. Doesn't get a splat, does get some paint on the map, but this does open the push on the left side. Tri-Strike from MatthewFoxEmoji going to stop this though, but it's going to be a very, very harsh time as MatthewFoxEmoji only has 20 seconds left to get something going.
And a double kill coming out from Okami with the burst bombs. It is only 1 left alive on the side of MatthewFoxEmoji. Ninja trying to run away, conserve their life. They are the last member standing. But the pressure is on for MatthewFoxEmoji. They have 6 seconds to pick ToyoBang. They need to get that splat. They are just stalling it so far away, and it's too much. That's what happens in when you are stalling the Rainmaker in a Rainmaker free zone. You need to rush it, and that's what Some Deaths were able to keep from happening. They just kept the Rainmaker there, they played patiently, and they just kept their humongous lead, and that is going to be game 2 going to Some Deaths, taking us to match point.
Yes, and match point it will be indeed. MatthewFoxEmoji now in a huge amount of pressure because the first game was a very hard game for them. The second game was an even harder game for them. They didn't really score at all. Like the furthest push was 185. They had maybe 1 or 2 pushes where they were getting some points in, but not a whole lot. While Some Deaths was just stepping on them and stepping on them and stepping on them over and over and over again. So the pressure to MatthewFoxEmoji is super high, and we see I can look at Some Deaths a little from here, and they're very calm, they're very collected, they have their stuff together, and they know that they can get to the finals. They just have to not mess it up here. But it's still counter picks from MatthewFoxEmoji, and that's gonna make it a little interesting what they want to pick. Some Deaths though. I want to talk about Storm for a second on that upper right area on the side of MatthewFoxEmoji. They were doing everything to get rid of him, and
Absolutely.
Storm wasn't even really getting a lot of splats there. All he was doing is painting. I only saw him paint over and over and over just to get rid of the ground. He could sneak something here, sure, but for example, he painted so much that Okami and ToyoBang could just go in, get rid of everyone, and the cycle just continued. You know, the respawn trying to get rid of Storm. Storm paints a lot. Okami and ToyoBang went in, got some splats. Panamo area at the back with the machine. Just, you know, sneaking some people off or chasing them away because of the blasts. And that's something that MatthewFoxEmoji has to know how to deal with because they don't have a lot of range themselves. And it's going to make it tricky to fight against Storm.
No, definitely. Storm is definitely showing the range advantage of ballpoint over MatthewFoxEmoji's composition. The longest range weapon on MatthewFoxEmoji is that Rapid Blaster, and it's not even a Rapid Blaster Pro anymore, right? The best it has is slightly, is some pretty strong mid-range pressure, but outside of that, they don't really have a defined answer for Storm's ballpoint, right? The best they had, the best they could find was some bombs, was an inkjet, but realistically, that's not enough. They need something more. In the first game, we were talking all about ToyoBang's crabs and Okami's picks, but in this second game, Storm was just putting out so much pressure and pain with the ball point that it made MatthewFoxEmoji impossible for them to move anywhere. And and that's what we were talking about, right? MatthewFoxEmoji really only got what 1 or 2 actual decent
in the
pushes.
beginning. I think it's the only one they really had. And it was 85, so that's just getting rid of out of the center and just below below the bridge. So I don't know if it really counts as a big push because that's moving at like 20 pixels. So yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, and MatthewFoxEmoji really needs to work on the range problem and on the long range problem, but also on the short range problem. Because like you said on the first game, Okami was just wrecking house, and they had no answer to that. And now it's Storm being super annoying and just sitting there doing like, oh okay, I'm just gonna paint. And yeah, they don't really have an answer to that. So yeah, they have a lot of work to do, but they still have 3 more games. They have 1 more chance to get rid. They're choosing a very good map there, but this can backfire. This is a risk. This is a high risk, high reward scenario. They have the weapons to be super destructive here, but the second Some Deaths gets control of that zone, Okami and Storm are going to have a blast.
No, for sure, and especially, I'm surprised about this counter pick because Flounder Heights is infamous all the way from Splatoon 1 for being a great map for Carbon Roll, especially the Deco variant. So I'm very interested in the reasoning that MatthewFoxEmoji have behind this counter pick. They must have something cooking up because if I were them, I would not have chosen one of the best maps for one of the main slayers on Some Deaths. So I'm very, very curious to see what last ditch effort, what last resort MatthewFoxEmoji is going to be pulling out here to find an answer to Some Deaths' just oppressive hold on this map, and we are seeing them actually come out with a 52 and try Slosher Nouveau. Definitely very interesting. The 52 gives the composition a lot of frontline pressure that can help with the brush, which could give them a good alternative when attacking Some Deaths, but you just can't have that when you let Promando get 2 picks on the bottom right side of the map. And that's 3 down. It's only Majin alive. Okami hunting them down. They do get a pick, but look at MatthewFoxEmoji. They're all clustered on the right side. That's 3 down. No, sorry, that's 2 down on the side of MatthewFoxEmoji. Storm cleaning up with the Inkjet, and Some Deaths is setting up a strong hold right now, very early in the game.
Yeah, the 2 deaths in the beginning, that's not something you really want to have, and exactly shown right here. Some Deaths took perfect advantage of how the tech cooler is out from the Slosher Nouveau. It's gonna help it a little bit, definitely help with the respawn time. Toyoban against Ken, Toyoban being the better Slosher. Ninja gets rid of Toyoban though, guys, the refrag. Now Ninja fighting against Storm, forces Storm to go down. Killer Wheel coming out, just be more annoying. 2 players now down on the side of Some Deaths though, so this is an opportunity for MatthewFoxEmoji to start painting that map. But the Booyah Bomb coming out from Panamo is not gonna help that zone here. Now Spore getting splattered, and Majin being in a lot of trouble, being forced all the way back, does allow Some Deaths to again take control of that zone. Can fall inside of the zone as well. That's really the 52, and now again Some Deaths is setting up for the defense, and they have a tactical or something that MatthewFoxEmoji does not, and that little buff is going to be so crucial in the defense. They already passed the 30 mark. Is it going to happen that MatthewFoxEmoji isn't even going to get in control of the zone or not even get a single point? The weapon from Majin has been slain again. Now that tech cooler is out. 52 also used that killer 5.1. Okami trades with the Slosher. 3 players are down inside of Some Deaths. This suggests a gap. They have to pay in seconds from Toyo and trying everything they can to get that zone in their control, but no, it will not. And just in time, MatthewFoxEmoji gets control of both of the zones, and now they can start pushing, but they have to push all the way to 6, which almost essentially is a knockout. And with 2 players down, that's not looking good.
No, honestly, MatthewFoxEmoji just barely managed to clutch that zone flip. That gave them a little bit more time with that penalty, but you can't do much if your players can't stay alive. Spore goes down. Ninja gets a trade, but it's not enough. They need a defined hold right now, and Some Deaths is doing everything in their power to stop it. If you're MatthewFoxEmoji, you really need to play aggressive right now. You need to get picks because there's no other way you're going to hold the zone, and that's 3 down. It's only Ken Carson alive. They're going to choose to back up, but that's just going to be the zone yet again for Some Deaths. MatthewFoxEmoji is struggling not only to stay alive, but to get picks that aren't trained. And even though they have that tactical cooler, which is very beneficial for them, so does Some Deaths. So those trades aren't being as valuable as they think they are. And even though, actually, wait, never mind. Two picks on the side of MatthewFoxEmoji. Storm and Toyobin down, but off screen, 3 down on MatthewFoxEmoji. It's only Majin alive. That's, again, Some Deaths are consistently outplaying MatthewFoxEmoji, not only in 1v1s, but also just overall team fights. And MatthewFoxEmoji is struggling to do anything about that, really.
They do have control of the zones now, and they have 3 players down on the side of Some Deaths. So maybe this is another push for them going. They have a little penalty to get rid of, and it's enough time for Some Deaths to get back into the zone. Very sneaky spot for Nano. That might actually help because the machine is a menace on those little ridges there. The ballpoint from Storm now in a very annoying spot, but the tactic cooler comes out just in time, and this is going to help the fight. Though, why would you go in with the Thrasher against the Thrasher and the Corner Rotor? Toyobin gets a free pick there. Majin also getting triple team. Ninja is, well, he's there. He got a pick on Purnamo, that's good. But now also gets a pick on Okami. I did not expect that. They're still going down. This might actually turn around. That pick is huge for the defense. It can still happen, everyone. We're still going. They're still coding. Some Deaths is trying to get up, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Ninja spots the flank from, I believe, Okami. The lead is only 2 ticks away. They can still keep control of it while the zone is in control. They got it, and the lead has been swapped to MatthewFoxEmoji. Even if they fall here, they have a huge penalty on Some Deaths. That's gonna help. Ken Carson is still alive in the zone. Storm now pushing that zone with the ink. And it's some control again of MatthewFoxEmoji. Only 3 ticks away from knocking out, but only Ninja is alive. He has to do everything now. That's a delayed, very delayed wipe. Unfortunately, that push has come to an end, but now Some Deaths has to keep it in control for so long in overtime. One control of that zone on MatthewFox. They controlled it for 1 millisecond both zones, and it's over this game.
This is an exciting turn of events. MatthewFoxEmoji is now just scrambling to get the zone, but they have time. Oh! They do it with a flank behind Some Deaths that they did not see. MatthewFoxEmoji managed to turn this around and get themselves back in the game.
It's not done yet. They had something cooking, like you said. We were wondering, but they knew with some great pushes and a little bit of trouble, they won it. But now is a lot of trouble, because this means that Some Deaths can pick a map mode that they prefer. And that's going to be very, very difficult. The reverse sweep counter pick is always so difficult. It's notorious for being super hard. It's notorious for one team winning the 3rd game in a best of 5, but then choking it on the 4th just because of the opposing team can pick something they prefer. So MatthewFoxEmoji have to get their heads down and concentrate, because this is going to be a very, very, very rough fight for them. But because of this win, their spirits are lifted, but Some Deaths also, they are hungry. And I spoke to Toyobin earlier today, and he is very, very hungry for this win in this tournament.
No, for sure. And here we are going to be seeing for the first time Some Deaths come out with a counter pick. This is very exciting. We've seen MatthewFoxEmoji now counter pick 2 maps, and actually we're seeing Some Deaths go to tower control, Hagglefish Market. Definitely very interesting. A good Inkjet map, a good Crab map, a good Machine map, which are 3 weapons that we have seen Some Deaths play in these past maps, in these past few games. This could definitely be what they need, and also it is pretty good for Okami. Even though the main weapon may struggle a little bit in the middle of the map, once you get the ball rolling, once you get the tower to the 2nd, 3rd checkpoint, and you get Okami set up on one of the top right sides, they can definitely get quite a few picks. Not to mention the Trizuka clearing a lot of area in some of the more higher up positions. So honestly, Some Deaths has a pretty good chance of taking this back. It's a great map for them, and with MatthewFoxEmoji sticking to the same composition, except both teams switching out, switching out the Tri-Slasher for the Machine. MatthewFoxEmoji is going to need to play their heart out if they want to continue this reverse sweep against Some Deaths.
Yeah, and it doesn't help for MatthewFoxEmoji. They lost 2 players quickly, though Some Deaths did that as well. March with the Weapon Blast is going to have some fun against that Crab Tank on tower, and the Crab Tank is only forced to roll. Spots Storm with the inkjet, but couldn't get him, and now Storm has free reign because their only counter against that inkjet is really gone. The 3 players were down onside of MatthewFoxEmoji. It does allow Some Deaths to start the opening push very early in the game. They're about to hit the first checkpoint. It's a little tough checkpoint, especially with the Rapid on the field, but I don't think they're going to even allow Magic to get close to that tower. The Kraken or the K-Roll 55.1 also not hitting the tower. That's unfortunate. Okami Spot Spore quickly gets rid of them as well. A very good opening push to 59 from Some Deaths. It looks like MatthewFoxEmoji has a little grasp on the situation, and it's a 2v2 on the map right now. But a full wipeout on the side of MatthewFoxEmoji allows Some Deaths to get rid of that grasp and start their push again.
Let's see how aggressively Some Deaths are pushing. They are hungry for this win. Clean pick on the side of Magic. We're seeing this Tricycle come out from Okami. It clears so much space. That's 2 down, 3 down, and Some Deaths have not suffered a single death right now. This is disastrous for MatthewFoxEmoji. They need to come back quickly, which they might have. Magic managed to get one of the members. That's 3 down on the side of Some Deaths. It is only Toyobin alive, sneaking behind MatthewFoxEmoji, but they're going to be jumping out. There's nothing they can do there. So MatthewFoxEmoji is still in the game, but Some Deaths have a lead of 23. That is nothing to scoff at, especially on this map. And we're seeing them take it, get that into their heads as they pick one of the members on MatthewFoxEmoji. 2 down. Spore just went down, and MatthewFoxEmoji's Inkjet finds nothing and gets camped by Okami. This is devastating. They are struggling to make something happen. The pressure's on them. They still have almost 3 minutes remaining, but at this pace, they're going to need to make something happen very quickly if they want a chance to bring this back.
Yeah, I think with this pace, only half the game left. They need a little bit more than 2.5 minutes to get the ball rolling. Kami now fighting against Majin and gets Toyoban to help. That's rid of Majin there, and that's the one counter to Storm gone. And that means Storm is almost free to stand on that tower because they are again pushing. MatthewFoxEmoji doesn't even have scored a single point. It's on flanker on the tower. I think it's Spore. No, it was Ninja. Ninja gets splattered by Okami quickly, not even breaking a sweat. And Ninja is now Okami is now just sharking around that drop, being super sneaky. And that's exactly what you have to do as a Karma Roller. As the tower's on the side, just shark a little bit on the flanks because that's where they're least expecting you. Even if they are expecting you, go, you know where they are, and because you think they don't. We see Ponama here also getting a splat onto 2 players here. That's huge. Spore trying to get something sneaky there with the bomb, forces Ponama in an awkward spot, gets the splat on the machine as well. Now trying to get Toyoban, gets him out and gets him as well. But that tower is so close to the final goal. They're on it. It's only 2 points up. They can still save it. They can still save it. Ninja and MatthewFoxEmoji somehow saved it, and a wipeout. They are not out of the game yet. They can still get a push going, but they have to essentially knock it out to get. They have to get it to 1, essentially knock it out. Anything is to happen in the 1 minute and 10 seconds left, but they cannot afford any mistakes anymore, as every single second is required to get it. They got a good spot on Okami here though, but it's going to be so difficult because Okami in this base with all the little sneaky spots, it's almost impossible to push through this.
With less than 60 seconds remaining, Some Deaths, all they have to do is play extremely slow and get some picks, which they are doing right now. MatthewFoxEmoji 2 down. This is not what they want. They need to make something happen here. And that's just not going to happen when their Inkjet is getting sniped by a Carbon Roller. This is devastating. They can't do anything, right? Because Ninja trying to get some space, get some pressure in mid, get some presence. But Some Deaths is not letting it happen. They're really even pushing the tower. They only just started. They are content with stalling it on this right side. They have Crab ready. They have Booyah Bomb ready. They must be coming up on the Inkjet from Storm. And with 10 seconds remaining, even with the Killer Whale, even with MatthewFoxEmoji throwing bodies onto the tower, it is looking very grim for them. And wait, they took the tower, but it is a wipeout on MatthewFoxEmoji, and that will be the game and the set for Some Deaths, moving them on to Grand Finals.
Yeah, Some Deaths, an incredible show of strength here. MatthewFoxEmoji tried to save it, unfortunately Some Deaths overwhelmingly strong. The way they play together, the long range, the short range, it's a masterpiece. And like I said earlier, I spoke to Toyban before, he was super hungry. He was also very confident in him and his team to get it to the finals, and they've shown that confidence right here, only dropping one game here, and the first two games were also very firm. The fourth game as well was a very secure game for Some Deaths, and that's going to help them in the finals here. But they still have one more team they have to face in order to get that trophy, to get those medals, to get that Sendu badge, and of course get the infamous glory of winning RSL 3 on one of the first major European lands after Corona. And that's super exciting, of course. That's something you want to have on your belt.
Definitely, Some Deaths is on a roll here. Sure, they dropped that Splat Zones map, but they are undeterred. They have a drive unlike anything we've seen before. They are determined to get this win. Like Hat mentioned, they really want the prestige of winning this land. But without further ado, we are going to be taking a short break while we set up everything for the next semi-final set. So we will be right back, folks. Things are starting to heat up in this latter half of Alpha Bracket. You do not want to miss this. Stay tuned.
Definitely don't miss this.